Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nation's organization's main fan page where I do my nearly everyday live stream. It's actually Sunday through Thursday, called the Spiritual Roundtable. And so welcome to the Spiritual Roundtable. It is Wednesday, June 26th. June 26th. Oh my. Oh, the width of that crawler is kind of wide. I wonder if we can change that. Got to sit up straight. So anyway, welcome. And today I'm broadcasting as usual from Star Nation's Academy, and it's kind of a cloudy day. It was a beautiful, beautiful morning, sunny and about 68 degrees or so. It was beautiful. Now we have overcast. We're supposed to have thunderstorms later, so I actually like that. I do. And I shouldn't say that too loud because the last time I did, we lost power for like a millisecond and I lost the internet. So, the Gamisho Mise Nan, right? Grandfather Sky, the thunders, they can come anytime after 8:30 my time. Why? Because Polly Joel will be done with her show by that time too. All right. So, what should we do first? I think we should do a little sprinkling, don't you? Yeah. And I'm still throwing it out there. If you guys can come up with a really cool word to use for that S word, and it's not snow, it's when we're sharing, right? We need to come up with a different word for it. Why? Because I guess Facebook isn't liking that word much anymore. And so, and they actually kind of pull you out of the news feed as often. And so we don't want that, right? Right. So if we could think of a word that we can use. And so for right now, it's kind of a bookmarker. We're using the word sprinkle. Okay. And every time I say that, what comes to my mind is, the sprinkles that you can have on ice cream or on frosting, that kind of sprinkles. Or it's sprinkling with a water can or a sprinkler, like a hose and a sprinkler. Anyway, please sprinkle the live stream to your friends and on your live stream or your news feed. It would be very much appreciated because I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to be a sprinkler too, and we're going to share it over. Oops, see, I said that S word. We're going to sprinkle it over to my news feed. Rats. Okay, so I'm just going to let my friends know that I'm live streaming. And if they'll come over and play. There we go. And we'll post it over there. And I do know that Stephanie, no, that's a good one, Rob. Spread. That's a good one. Well, I know that Stephanie's not going to be in the house today because her son had his oral surgery this morning. So I'm sure that she's very, very busy and focused on her son, as she should be, right? Of course, I sent prayers out to Ben and to his mom, Stephanie, and also to his surgical team, right? She sent me a picture of him all getting prepped up for his surgery. Oh, he looks so sad. Poor little guy, but he's going to feel so much better after he has his dental surgery done and after the recovery time. You know how that goes. So since Stephanie isn't going to be here today, I am going to spread the show over to the closed groups. So here we go. I'll go over to the group, and I'm just going to remind the peeps that I'm live streaming. Well, oops. There we go. And asking them up to come out and play. There we go. We'll get that posted. There. I know it doesn't take long. It just is a matter of getting it done, right? Yeah, sprinkling or spreading. Yeah. I don't know. We'll come up with one, I'm sure. I'm sure of it. That Georgie boy, I tell you what, his hair is everywhere. All right. And Julie's here. Hello, Julie. Julie Shumway Hill. Did you know that Julie is our Star Nations Academy manager? Yeah, she helps me. She helps me with the academy and all the classes and helping with registration and all kinds of stuff for the academy. And so I really appreciate this lady. And she takes the time to be in the live streams too. And I appreciate that. It's always good to see you here, Julie. And Rob's here. Yay, Rob. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Soy bien. Soy bien. I'm doing good. Hello, Pat. Good to have you here. It's always good to see you in the house, too. April's here, too. Hello, April. She's waving. Hello, April. Yep, and I'm going to think about that. I'm going to think about spread. Yeah. And thank you, April, for sprinkling, being a sprinkler. Oh, my gosh. It's so much fun, isn't it? All right. Rob says that we're going to simulcast the live feed. Ew, that sounds so technical. Sounds so professional, doesn't it? Simulcast. Actually, I've got a little something to share with you guys in a second, as soon as we say hi to everybody. Pat says, what's the native words for share and sprinkle? Oh, that's a good question. I could probably find the Potawatomi word for it and ask Mom about the Ho-Chunk word. I could do that. I think I will do that, Pat. That's a good suggestion. I'll have to go find out, look up the Potawatomi word for spread or sprinkle and see which one works. See which one we can actually pronounce. Rob says we're Simonizing the live feed. That's another good one, Simonizing. Muy bien. All right. Okay. So here's what's going on. And I was trying to get this to happen. I don't think. Okay. I was just double checking. I'm looking at the studio. And see, our partners at BeLive TV, they launched the new studio today. It's been in beta for quite a few months. I didn't take them up on their call for beta testers this time around. I was just so busy with the magazine and publishing a book. I didn't think I could fit another thing in there. And so anyway, beta testers are finished, and what they did was they compiled everything, and the programmers were doing their thing and getting things fixed and whatever, and putting new stuff in. Well, they launched it today, and I was just so excited about it because we're going to have some capabilities in the studio that are brand new. But as I'm looking at my studio, it doesn't look like the new one. I think what we're doing is we're testing. They have like a free trial offer that's running for 2 weeks. So I think once that's done, those of us that have already been in should probably have access to the full studio after that, I think. But anyway, because I know that they were running both the old studio and the new studio. And I want to make sure I want to start using the new studio. And I thought I had signed in on the new studio, but it doesn't look like it. I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, so anyway, the new studio, things that you guys will see on the receiving end, okay, is that there's things in the studio that we can do to the picture. And for instance, whenever, like if I had a guest and we drop their call or something like that, sometimes what I'll do is I'll put a cover on, and this is the cover. Okay, I'm going to put the cover on. Hang on. That's the cover. You can still hear my voice, of course, but that's the cover. And so they're giving us the capability to use our cover while we're broadcasting. So we can do kind of cool things with our cover, like do customized ones where it gives us a really cool kind of frame around it. We'll also have the background, almost like a green screen sort of thing, but not quite. We can have a different kind of background. So in the event, let's say I'm live streaming from, I don't know, not here, maybe the meditation room, and I didn't have time to straighten up, so you don't see a bunch of stuff behind me. We can use the fake background. And I think they have 4 different kinds that we can use. And so if on the receiving end, you might see, the background looking different. Now, for this live stream, for this live chat, you guys are the only ones that are getting the behind the scenes kind of backstory to what you're going to be looking at in the coming weeks. Okay. The new stuff. The other new thing that's coming that I can't wait for, and that is that we're going to be able to have guests on by audio only. In other words, let's say they're in an area that has really not good internet. And so for them to be able to come on a video, sometimes what happens is that we drop their call, we drop their video. Sometimes they're garbled or pixelated okay. So we have available now where we can contact them and bring them on by audio only, which is going to save on bandwidth, right? And I don't have to use my Skype to call somebody and have the sound pick up by my speakers. Those kinds of things. All these little workarounds that I've been doing for almost 2 years. And so that's going to be helpful in the sound quality when we have a guest who is being interviewed and they don't have good internet. All right, so that's on the receiving end. There might be a few other things that you guys will see that's a little bit different. I was kind of hoping to test them out with you today, but I don't think. See, I was trying to get into the new studio and it wouldn't pick up my external camera. So I think that I just found a little bit of a bug either on my end or on their end. So we'll get it done. Yeah. Hey, Caitlin's here too. Hello, Caitlin. Good to have you here, lady. And Rob says, scare the live. Hey, Irish Gaelic. I say, how do we pronounce that then? How do we pronounce it? It's not scare, is it? Because that might not work. How do we pronounce that? Sharing the Scots Gaelic is a Corún. Sharing is Ag Rennet. Okay, in Irish Gaelic. Okay, well, and that's fine, but I'm going to need to be able to pronounce them too. So I have to learn or find out the correct pronunciation of them if we end up using them. And we might, we might kind of mix it up a little bit, right? All right, so we have, it's actually kind of an exciting day for those of us who use BeLive TV because, I have, 400 I've done 460 something live streams since I started using BeLive. That's a lot. That's a lot. And so to have the some of the bugs in the studio worked out, that's really grand. And also to have some new things, some new toys to try out, that's even better. And so you guys will be seeing some of the new stuff coming down the pike in the next, I would say probably the next couple of days. Because right now I'm the only one live streaming today. I'm producing Polly Joe's show this evening, so she won't be in the new studio. Yeah. So sometimes I would imagine next week, because I'm thinking about the shows tomorrow. Maureen may have the new studio up and running in the afternoon. She may. I'll have to talk to her about that. And so anyway, that's a little exciting just to share with you guys. All right, so we're going to get started with the cards. It was a very interesting card draw to this morning, and I'll tell you why. Because I asked how many cards, and I didn't get a reply. What I got was keep shuffling, keep shuffling, and so I did. I kept shuffling, and the first two jumped out of the deck. Okay. And I said, oh, okay, and I thought we were done. And I heard very plainly, keep shuffling. So, okay, so I continued to shuffle. And 3 more cards came out. Now, that's a lot of cards to talk about, right? So, I did something. We're probably bending copyright a bit, but these are the cards that came. And so I grouped them for us, okay? And I'm going to do a solo, give them its solo in just a second. But we got 5 cards today. And all 5 cards we've gotten in, I would say, in less than a week's time frame. Week and a half at most. Repeatedly, we have received these cards. And so whenever that happens, I know that Spirit is really, really trying to impress upon us information and messages through this, right? It's some people would say, oh, it's so random. It's communication. It's communication. And so I was trying to think of a good way to be able to share this with you so that you could see them all. Because if I try to do all 5 cards fanned out, you're not going to be able to see all of them all at the same time, right? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, Rob is saying I'm using Google Translate. Yeah, and it can be good, but I've also found that it's we're probably better off asking Amantha for a word or a phrase, and I'll record it and see if I can get the pronunciation done. Okay, it might take me a couple of days. 1, to get a hold of her because she's a hard lady to get a hold of, and 2 is to learn how to do the pronunciation. So we'll give it a whirl though. Okay. He says no idea the pronunciation. We'll work on it. We'll get it. Hi, Jocelyn. Good to have you here, lady. It's always good to see you in the chat. I was saying, are we playing divination poker? That would be a fun game, wouldn't it? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all 5 of them, and then we're going to talk about them a bit, okay? And give you kind of, to refresh your memories of what each card kind of holds, okay, in their essence, all right? Now this, and I'm doing this differently than we've done in the past, all right? But I thought, as I sat with these cards this morning and talking to my team about them, and I knew that you had to be able to see them all at one time, okay? So when you're looking at them, you might want to, well, first of all, if you're grounded, if you haven't done your grounding yet today, please pause for a moment and do your grounding. And then what we'll do is we'll talk about them. I'll give you a minute or so, okay? It's a long time. A minute is actually a long time. In the broadcasting production world, it's a long time. So I'm going to give you a minute to get your grounding done if you haven't done it, okay? I'm just going to continue chatting a bit before we get started. And so if the grounding is really important because it puts you in your vibration in a more stable, okay, a more stable energy field. All right. I know that sounds kind of scientific, but when we're grounded, we're also centered. And so it puts us in a position to really bring in as much of the information in as many ways as possible. Okay. So not only will you take it in through your physical eyes and your mental mind, like how we do 90% of the time, right? But when you're grounded, you're also going to be able to take in more information in the rest of your bodies. Okay, your emotional, your spiritual, right? Your physical body. And so you're going to take in much more information, both the seen and the unseen. And so there, more of the you as a whole being will be able to process and understand the messages and the information that's coming through your field. All right. And it's very empowering, because it's much more important, I think, that you take in the information than you just take what I might say, okay, and run with that 100%, because it's coming through my field too. All right. And so as we're working together on this to help us to really understand it and bring some clarity to it, it's in that co-creation, right? And like I said, it's much more powerful, empowering for you to be able to take in as much of the information, the message as possible. So, all right. So most of you have probably done your grounding already. Jocelyn is saying maybe something to do with the number. Yes. Yes, absolutely it does. Turtle clans are better to open. Actually, there's more frogs in this one than there are turtles. Go fish. Is that right? Go fish. All right. Hey, Andrea, good to have you here. Good to have you here. Okay. So we're going to show the cards and take a look at them, And as we discuss them, I can bring up the card individually. I can show them to you. But you are so right, Jocelyn. I mean, look, that we have 5. We have 5 cards, right? Now, just in the number 5 alone, we have the platonic solids, right? We have the platonic solids in the number 5. And with that, and not too long ago, one of the Mayan elders, actually there's a conclave that gets together, and there's many indigenous elders that come together as often as they can, because it is quite expensive for them to be able to travel and do that. But one of the things that they talked about a few years ago was bringing in the 5th element, and the 5th element being ether, prana, spirit, void, whatever you want to name that, because we use a lot of different words to describe it. And so we have the 4 that we always talk about indigenously, right? But now we have the 5th. And so, yes, Jocelyn, I do believe the number is very significant. And even in numerology, 5 is about change. 5 is about change and transformation. Now, as I was looking at these 5 cards this morning, and I was talking to my team, they kept talking to me about a process, a way of moving through a life lesson or an experience that is two-legged, humans. So many times we view and believe that our life lessons are very dramatic, traumatic, that we actually add that to the creation and we spin it around a few times, and we end up with sometimes a very, I don't want to call it catastrophic. It can be, but it's heavily dramatized. Even though many of us say, we don't like drama, we really steer away from it, right? But when it comes to our life lessons, a lot of times what we'll do as humans is that we will bring it in and understand it as something very negative. Yeah. And why? And you know why? Because a lot of times it's emotionally painful. It's scary. We have to turn around and we have to face our fears, for goodness sakes, right? And so as humans, we go into the process that we call life lessons, already prejudging it, already once we realize, oh, this is a life lesson, we get kind of tense about it, right? All right. So what they were showing me here this morning is that this is a process, and if we can immerse ourselves into the energy, the vibration of a process that's all about change and transformation, right? Because when we go through a life lesson, we're working on an aspect of ourselves that is going to change. It changes our life, and usually for the better. Even though when we're going through the process, it can be very challenging, right? Okay. So, and the way the cards actually came out, I'm going to show it to you again. Hopefully you guys, they're close enough that you can actually see them. The first one that came was the Turtle Clan, and that's about grounding and steady progress, solidity. So that one's in the lower right hand. And then the next one that came, it was Frog's Returning Moon. And that's about building dreams, determination, and cooperation. And then Frog Clan in the upper left is about cleansing, release, and healing. And we just had this one, the middle one on the top row, Ripe Berries Moon. And that's about life lessons, victory, and courage. And the last one in the upper right hand is Long Snow's Moon, contemplation, messages, and deliberation. So as you're taking the essence, the spirit of these cards in, as you're looking at them, as a whole being, not just in bits and fractions, but you in your wholeness, all of your bodies. Your inner child aspect of you, your higher self aspect of you, or your soul self, and your conscious self. Bringing it all in. Yes, Jocelyn. Yep. 3 moons and 2 clans. Yes. You know, and we also have some water aspects here, don't we? Right? Because the turtle is both land and water, right? But in this instance, this turtle is actually on land, but they live in the water as well, right? And so we have a lot of water here. The turtle is telling us to be grounded. The frog is about water, and we have 2 frog cards, right? All right, so the Ripesberry Moon is the only card that doesn't have water in it. The Long Snow Moon, it has swans in the artwork. Here, let me show it to you. Let me show it to you. This is the last card, the Long Snow Moon. You see the swans? And they're heading toward the water, right? Yeah. So in this card draw of 5, 4 out of the 5 have the water element in it. That's a lot of emotion. That's a lot of emotion. The only one that doesn't have any water in it is the second to the last card. The one would have been the 4th card, is Ripe Berry's Moon. And it has 4 birds in it. Right? And so that is the element of air, mental thought. But it's very, very, it's also, there's a lot of feminine energy here, right? There's a lot of feminine energy in the 4 cards having the water element involved. And the air element is about the sacred masculine. All right. So really bringing in the nuances and the essence, the spirit of the cards. And Andrea is saying, from I understand, the strongest thing in manifestation is emotion. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's our emotion. It's our emotions, our feelings that are the fuel. It's the fuel to bring our thoughts, to manifest them into the physical world. Our emotions catapult our manifestations into the physical world. Without the feeling, they don't emerge into the physical, our manifestations. Yeah. And so you when we're talking about our emotions and manifestation, then you want to be very aware, very conscious of what your emotions are, right? Because the stronger the emotion, the quicker the manifestation. Yeah. So thanks for adding that, Andrea, because I do believe, and this is the conversation I had with my my team, is that I'm going to move my camera over just a bit. Wrong way. There we go. I had to go the opposite direction. They were talking to me about the process of a life lesson, how we move through it. Okay. And even as Andrea pointed out, added her point of view in there, is that our life lesson is also about manifesting, about creating, right? We're working on our soul contract. Every life lesson that we have is building our wisdom, and we are working our way towards completing our soul contract. So not many people, I think, include our life lessons in our co-creation, in manifesting. But really, when you think about it, we had to create a soul contract. We had to co-create it with other souls within our soul group, asking them if they would play certain aspects in our soul contract for us here, right? Oh, sorry, I gotta charge my phone. Well, I'm all thumbs. And so when you think about it, we were already co-creating as spirit, as souls, even before we got here, right? Because we had to create our soul contract. Right? The creator reviewed our soul contract, gave the thumbs up, or go back to the drawing board, try again, in order for us even to come here to work on our soul contract. And our soul contract is all about our soul growth. It's about increasing our wisdom, which increases our vibration, our overall vibration. Helps us to hold our vibration at a higher frequency, right? And so it really is all about manifesting. It really is all about co-creation, our life lessons. This is what my team was telling me this morning. And basically it was like, you guys are doing a really, really good job. You're really turning your awareness, your attention to, focusing on your life lessons and facing your fears and working through them, doing your healing work. And the thing is that now it's time to be open to the opportunity anyway, to perceive our life lessons a bit differently, is to perceive them and welcome them. I know when they said that one, I almost choked on my coffee. It's like, welcome them with some joy, some happiness. It's like, it was almost like, yay, I get to do a life lesson. That means I get to do some soul growth, and we're happy dancing about it. Yay, I'm starting a life lesson. Now, I don't know many people who do that. But that was my team's message. That when we change how we look at or perceive a life lesson, that it's really a gift. That the challenges and the heartache and the emotional pain doesn't have to be as dramatic. And it's like, did you try to tell me this like 2 years ago, or even 3 years ago? Did I miss it? Did I miss it because I didn't have to go through what I went through in 2017? I could have still done the life lesson. I could have still gained the experience from it, but I didn't have to go through the emotional pain with it. And of course, their answer was yes, we did try. You weren't ready. You're ready now. You're ready to really bring it in. And we really, personally, I really don't know how this is going to unfold and what the ride's going to be like until I am fully consciously aware. It's like, oh, I'm in a life lesson. Right? Yeah, but it is a changing your perception. It's almost like a paradigm shift, really. Because how many people do you know? How many two-leggeds do you know that would look at their life lessons as joyful gifts. That is like, all right, let's get going. This is gonna be a good one. How many people do you know that do that now? Yeah. Andrea says, and likely it's two-way. The people that play the role for us also benefit from us. Yes, that is so true. It is a two-way street. It's a two-way street. We don't do life lessons by ourselves, right? So they're playing a role for us. We're playing a role for them. We are only responsible for our side of the street. We can't make someone else do something or feel something or think something, right? So we're responsible for cleaning up our own side of the street. Now that doesn't mean that in our cleaning work on our own side of the street doesn't affect other people around us, because it does. It does. In the changing of the vibration and the changing in the flow of the energy, it affects others around us, right? But you're right, Andrea. I mean, we agreed as souls in our soul family, for our soul group, that we would play a role for somebody, right? Yeah. For their soul growth, for their soul contract. Of course we did. Doesn't it make you kind of sit back and wonder, I wonder who that one was? Who is it? Right? And I'm sure that we probably could probably identify at least a couple, if not more than that we've played a role for. Yeah. So when I was looking at these cards, and I'll bring them up on a solo so you guys can really take another good look at them, okay? So the process, in the process itself, the Turtle Clan reminds us, and we can call on Turtle to help us to be grounded, to help us to know and to understand that the progress that we're making is movement forward, even though it may be slow. It's steady. Because when we're in a slower pace, it helps us to be reminded anyway of patience and faith, trust that the universe is providing everything that we need in the moment that we need it. And that the turtle also tells us that our goals, that when we're grounded, that we have the energy and even the perseverance, right, to get to the goal, the end result. And that the turtle can teach us a lot about being centered and grounded. And in order to bring in information in the best way possible, in the completeness, is to be grounded and centered. Right? What better way to start a life lesson? Or when you make the realization, it's like, oh my God, or oh my goddess, I'm in a life lesson. I'm in a life lesson. Did I do my grounding this morning? You got to check in. You got to check in with yourself, right? Do I feel grounded? Am I grounded? Because I'm in a life lesson. And as soon as you do that, you can bring in more information with more of your bodies to help you through the life lesson, right? And I know, because I've been there too. When you're in the midst of it, we tend to forget about our tools. We tend to forget about our allies. And so it's good to have an inner circle of friends and family that you can communicate with and let them know what's going on with you, so that they can check in with you and they can ask you, did you ground today? You know? And reminding you, maybe you need a crystal, put a grounding crystal in your pocket, right? Take an Epsom salt bath. You know, they can help remind us when we're in the thick of it and we forget that we have tools. They're there. They can help us to remember to be grounded, right? Just take a moment. It only takes a moment, because the more often that we do it, we get there quicker. We can be grounded and centered in a breath if you do it every single day, twice a day, right? Yeah. All right. So Jocelyn is saying, in the Turtle Clan grounding card, I also see a lot of eyes. Maybe we need to open our eyes and focus. That could very well be. Could very well be. And when we're grounded, Jocelyn, when we're grounded, okay, I'm going to put it in air quotes, we see clearer. We have clarity when we're grounded, right? Because we have Grandmother Earth's energy consciously with us. She's with us all the time. Half the time, we don't even pay attention to it. But when we're grounded, we can turn our attention to, oh yeah, I feel her. I see her, right? How many people see color when they turn their attention to Grandmother Earth? I always see the color green. It's kind of like an emerald, shimmery green that I see. And the feeling, I feel like I'm getting such a warm hug. I know it could be gravity, right? But it's really, that sensation, right? Okay. So in the process, the next card was Frog's Return Moon. I'm going to do this. Frog's Return Moon, right? And in the center, that looks like a dream catcher, doesn't it? Frog's Return Moon. It's about building dreams, determination, and cooperation. That this card actually tells us that it's a perfect time to begin building upon plans, dreams. That this particular card and the moon, this Frog's Return Moon, brings us stamina, determination, mental clarity to successfully plan and build and to create what we desire. So here's the manifestation, Andrea. It says, be flexible and accept help and valuable input along the way. Channel your stubbornness to determination. Okay. So in the process of our life lesson, and when we realize that we're in this process, is that Frog's Return Moon can help us to remember that we are co-creating, that this life lesson is about co-creation. It's about us having that experience and gaining the wisdom, right? So that we have growth. And so in those times in our life lessons where it's really difficult, right? Sometimes you want to give up. Is to use that determination to turn to the Frog's Return Moon and ask your team to help you with determination. And this, I think this is the part where we can, as two-leggeds, that we can resist our life lesson, right? Because when we resist and we're not in the flow of it, when we resist, we make it so much longer to get through. And many times it's much more painful emotionally because we're resisting. And we're very determined to resist. You know, it's like, you can't tell me what to do. I've got free will. That was me in 2017. It's like, I like my life the way it is. I don't have to change it. I want my life to be this way. That's not what my soul contract was about, though. And so what they're saying is that use your stubbornness as determination to get through those rough spots, those places where you just want to say, you know what, I'm done, because we're just prolonging it. We really are. And that to remember that we do have dreams during this time, even if your dream is, I want to have this come to a conclusion. I want to gain the experience and the wisdom. My dream, my manifestation, my co-creation, even if it's just that's the only thing that you can feel really passionate about. Right? I know. So what my team was telling me, that this is all a process. In the process of learning a life lesson, that there's certain ways that we can change how we perceive it and how we are willing to go through it. Right? Yeah. So Andrea is saying, I love that, grounding and clarity together. Powerful. Yes, it is. It's very powerful. And most of us walk around without it. You know, we forget to do it. But when we are grounded and centered, doesn't it feel good? Because you feel more present. You feel like you're more in your body. Right? Although I've had people tell me, I've had one woman tell me, here's a client of mine. Oh, sure. The one place that I don't feel safe. It's like, what's that? And she says, in my body, I don't feel safe there. Okay, we got to work on that then. Why don't you feel safe there? You know, and so it's getting to facing those fears and healing those emotional traumas around that. You know, the abuse that she went through that she never really dealt with. She never healed from it. And so that was step one, you know, is to be able to have to welcome the feeling of being in your body and having it feel good. Right? Yeah. So Andrea is saying, I never thought of determination as an emotion. That puts a new light on it, doesn't it? It certainly does. I mean, you should have seen me when I was drinking my coffee, Andrea, and I'm listening to my team and I'm looking at these 5 cards, and it almost, these light bulb moments, you know, kind of reminded me of fireflies in a way. It's like, there's one, there's one, there's one. Yeah. Light bulb moments. Yeah, those fireflies, they were going off like pop, 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 pop this morning. And my big one was it's a paradigm shift. It's a shift in consciousness when we can look at how our life lessons are, because we signed up for them. We already created them. We're going to go through them. But if we can use this process that they're showing us, that we can change how we feel about it, and that how we can accept the process, and knowing that we're working toward co-creating. We're co-creating as we're moving through our soul contract, right? Gaining that wisdom, that experience. Yeah, and Jocelyn's saying determination would be a good emotion I would think. Yeah, yeah. And the difference is what are you determined about that's going to um, put more power behind it? Is it because remember energy is energy, right? It's us two-leggeds that put on the label or the essence of negative or positive. So is it good medicine or is it bad medicine? In my determination, is it good medicine? Doing no harm, right? Do no harm to anyone else and yourself. Yeah. So that's about that shift. Did you see it? That was that firefly, that one. Plop, plop, plop. I just had connected another dot here. Here, I'm going to show them to you again while I say this, okay? In shifting our awareness, our consciousness, and how we perceive the process of learning a life lesson, this is all in preparation for us to make that shift from third dimension to fourth dimension, from fourth to fifth, and so on. That what they're showing us here is a higher frequency of your vibration in that shift. It's preparing you to be able to shift in vibration altogether. It's a shift in consciousness. Because before we can shift our vibration, okay, and so that it is completely into the fourth or completely into the fifth, we have to remember how to hold a frequency, a higher frequency. So when we can hold the higher frequency at this vibration for longer periods of time, and with consistency, they're saying with consistency, that is when we can shift into the next vibration. And then we start learning how to, remembering how to hold that vibration at that higher frequency. And so it starts again. So what they're showing us today is, and what they've been showing us for months, in many different ways, in all the different cards that we've used, that this is a shift in consciousness, that if we can make that mental and emotional perception change in how we are going through the life lesson process, it's big. It's very, very big. That's why they keep showing us the same thing over and over and over and over again. That's why they wanted me to take this picture. So you don't necessarily, we can read word for word out of the book. Or what we can do, that's why they wanted us to be grounded, is to be able to look at the cards, to look at the essence, the 3 words that are on each card, and where are you within the process, right? And even the Frog Clan is all about cleansing, release, and healing, right? That's us facing our fears. That's us healing whatever we need to heal around those fears, our emotional and mental traumas. Healing whatever we need to heal and releasing it. Yeah. Jocelyn's saying, like we are determined to get through this process on our soul crime. Yes. Yes. That is part of that determination. Absolutely. And we can be determined. We can be determined from a position of love, right? We can be determined to make it through this life lesson as gracefully as we possibly can. And whenever we start feeling the resistance, you start, because you know what it feels like, right? That's when you're so emotionally, you're crying all the time, you're sad, you feel like everything is against you. People leaving you left and right. That's what happened to me. Leaving you left and right. I was resisting. And when we're in the resistance is to stop, get grounded, and ask your team, help me understand this. Why am I so resistant to this? I really want to know. Because underneath the resistance is fear. There's anger, there's resentment, and there's fear. And so in order to heal around all of that, so that you're no longer in the resistance, right? So be determined to get to the root. Get to the root in a graceful way as possible. Heal, release, whatever it needs to be done, right? Caitlin's saying, thank you. You're welcome, Caitlin. Got to thank my team. They're the ones I'm the one that's going, holy smokes, we got it. That connects there and that connects there. Andrea saying, a higher vibration, meaning with more love and understanding. Right. So the vibration, okay, so here's Grandmother Earth, right? Grandmother Earth is a higher vibration than she's ever been in written history. And in order for us to be with her, we have to be within a range of that vibration that she's currently in. And so we know that she has shifted out of the third 3D, right, vibration. And she is fully into the fourth and also moving into the fifth. She's more in the fifth than she is in the fourth. We're remembering how to hold that higher vibration of the fourth dimension. And so many of us have already remembered how to do that, okay? And working on that higher vibration of the fifth. So yes, it is a higher vibration, meaning love, meaning compassion. Yes. Meaning moving toward and truly understanding the meaning, the essence of unity, of the oneness, right? Moving toward the creator. Mm-hmm. So yes, Andrea, higher vibration. So, vibration is about, oh God, we're at the top of the hour already, is about our bodies here in the physical world, okay? That our vibration starts from the inside and moves out. It's about matter, because we are matter, our bodies are. Our spirit, our soul is pure energy, right? All right, so we're holding this vibration to be here on the physical plane. And many energy workers and light workers are already knowing how to hold the fourth dimension vibration. Fourth dimension is kind of chaotic because it's that transition between the third and the fifth. Okay. And so our frequency is in a cycle. So we want our frequency to be at the frequency of love. right? So that we remember how to hold that frequency and that vibration of love for longer and longer periods of time. So that we can, when we make the shift into the fifth, we're holding that love vibration at the highest frequency possible. Does that make sense? Yeah, and I'm sorry, guys, we went over, but I want to make sure that we get through these last two, okay? All right, so the next one is the Rapeberry Moon. This is the one with all the birds. We just had this one like the other day. It's about life lessons, victory, and courage, right? It's about being able to, is to realize that you're in a life lesson, being grounded, right? Co-creating. Yeah. And it takes courage. Oh my goodness, it takes courage to get through life lessons because we're facing our fears. We're doing all kinds of healing. And that this is also about victory. And what does that mean for you, right? It means that you have gone through that life lesson, that you went through the experience, you made it through, right? You made it through the experience, meaning that you gained the wisdom. The wisdom begins when we start to understand what just happened. The wisdom starts to come in when we're in the integration. We're on the other side of the life lesson. We've made it through. And you're doing one of these things. It's like you're sleeping a lot because you're tired. You're tired, right? The integration begins. You made it through. And here's the integration. This is the long snows moon. It's about contemplation, messages, and deliberation. It says it's time to open your mind and see beyond the ordinary, to journey to other worlds and connect with the divine, where a message of importance awaits. So in the integration, you're contemplating. You're thinking about what all happened. You're writing in your journal, right? You may be rereading your journal entries from the life lesson phase, right? You're in meditation, you're quiet, you're listening. You're listening. And you're also deliberating. You're also, okay. It says the messages you receive from Spirit now feel like long lost pieces of a puzzle coming together. The gift of the long snows moon is a slower pace that allows you to weed out the trivial details and recognize what's truly important. So you're sifting through all of the experiences that you had in a life lesson and gathering all of those nuggets of gold. That's the wisdom. Those are the pieces that you keep, the pearls of wisdom, right? Isn't that what they're called? Pearls of wisdom. Yeah. Yep. Andrea's saying, love these talks. Thanks. I do too, especially this one. This one is really good. Jocelyn said that we broke through the fear and victory and courage. Absolutely. It means absolutely that. Yep. I'm going to show you the cards one last time here before we sign off, okay? If I were you, suggestion is to do a screenshot of this if you can, and keep it with you, excuse me, as a reminder, and you can sit with it for a while. Because I really do believe that we'll be helping others go through the same shift, this paradigm shift, this shift in consciousness, right? Yeah, because we have to go through it ourselves first. You know, we have to make that shift ourselves first. And then when the time, the divine timing is there, then we start sharing it. We start sharing it. We start sharing it with our community, right? Yeah. Yay. Jocelyn says, I'm sure getting a lot out of this one today. Me too. Me too. Oh, good. Jocelyn already did her screenshot. Perfect. 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 All right. So, you know, I say this every day, guys, is whatever resonated with you. My suggestion is to embrace it and then watch, see, feel, right? Sense how the energy is unfolding around you today and where this information could be helpful. Yeah. And if it didn't resonate with you, that's okay. Don't worry about it. It's all in divine timing, right? It's possible that you're the messenger. You're going to share it with someone else. You're going to sprinkle it over there to their messenger. Or possibly you're going to rewatch the recorded live stream, and you're going to have some light bulb moments yourself. It could be tomorrow. It could be next month. You know, it's all in divine timing. Right. So I'm not going to keep you any longer. Please join us tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for Soul Connections and with Polly Joe LeBay. Okay. All right. With that, enjoy the rest of your day. If you guys have anything that you want to ask me, or maybe you had a light bulb moment and you don't want it to be out there in public, please private message me. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. Okay. All right. Bama Mina. That means in Potawatomi, until we see each other again. Love you guys.